So Red has been asking, what are some of the currently planned extra features in the new audio system? Kind of how we got simplex turbulence and PhotonDust. We actually kind of covered some of this in a previous Resonance, where we kind of like went into details how it's gonna work and so on, and there's a published video, so I do recommend checking that one out. But in short, one of the features I'm particularly looking forward to that's actually kind of relevant to this as well is where we can have multiple listeners. So instead of like, right now you have only like one listener where I pretty much, set the audio to broadcast. If I set the audio to spatialized for Cyro, for example, you would hear him wrong because you would be hearing him from my perspective. I can switch it to the perspective of the camera, but then it would be wrong for me and it really messes with my brain. So I don't do it and I just do broadcast. And the reason like we cannot like, do it is because like with Unity we can only have one listener, one sort of like viewpoint for the ears. With our own system, we can have as many, we can design it to have as many listeners as we need to, which means we can render audio for the user, and then we can actually render the audio again for the viewpoint of the camera and send it to a different audio device. That way you can have audio that's going to you, and you can have another audio that's going to the stream, and that has the audio spatialized fully from the camera's viewpoint. What's even cooler with that one, we might make it, so you don't need to capture your own microphone. We'll render your own audio spatialized for the camera. So like, you're also not in broadcast, you're gonna be properly spatialized for the camera's viewpoint as everybody else. There's other things I want to do with that one, is like, for example, make it so you can make like, microphone in the world, and you can just record things into spatialized audio. Or maybe you can just, make the audio source so you can make like, walkie-talkies, that like go there. So that really like one of the things. The other part, we're gonna have like, much better control over how the audio fall works. So it's probably going to be a bunch of features with that, kind of exposing more control, maybe making, settings where you can kind of tweak the fall off like locally, if you're like, for example, overwhelmed with audio, or maybe have like trouble hearing like people. So there's like, stuff like that. We might, some of these like, we might not like do as part of it, because usually for the Switch, the main goal is, feature parity. There's like a lot of features we could add, but if they take a lot of time, that means they delay, the performance update, which is the main focus. So usually we'll only add like, things that are like small enough. But we also might add like, for example, mechanisms where you can, have, because right now audio sources, if you like a source of audio, is, just like a sphere. It's like, if you're here, it's the same volume as it's here. Because, it's the same distance. But what I might do is, so like, there's like ways to define them to be, different. So for example, maybe the audio is more like this, and it's very kind of quiet here. So like it's very loud for like if you're in front of it, but quiet if you're behind. So you kind of do different shapes. Because we'll pretty much, we'll control how the volume is computed, based on the positions, and we can, plug whatever functions we want there. The other part I was going to mention with that, what was I going to mention? I kind of blanked out again. And I'm blanked out. There was another thing. I don't remember now. But yeah, there's a few. One of the things I was kind of looking into is like that we want like to add eventually, but it probably isn't going to happen for this one, for MVP. We're going to be integrating Steam Audio, and Steam Audio supports like, you can like actually use the word geometry for audio bouncing and occluding. Oh, actually I remember there's another thing that I found. One of the things that Steam Audio supports is simulating air absorption. So like if something's really far away, certain frequencies they get absorbed more than others. So maybe like, and that should be easy enough to integrate, so maybe you'll get that one. Oh, and the other one is we might support like, loading custom sofa files for like the Steam Audio for the audio spatialization. It uses something like called like HRTF, which is head related transfer function. And usually it uses some default ones that come through, and so they work okay for most people. But you can actually get, different ones. You can even get like, your own kind of ears measured, so you get a custom one that matches your physiology. So you might expose like mechanisms, so you can just load a custom one, so you have more personalized audio spatialization. I'm not making like, any promises like on these things right now. Like I said, the main goal is feature parity, but there's also some of the smaller things that might be easy enough to kind of integrate along the way.